What's going on, y'all? What is going on? I want to wish you guys a very happy Tuesday. I gotta get my framing right. I gotta get my framing right on this computer. I got a Reese Waters video coming up, just about how I made it this far without having to do anything with this camera. That's not just what it's about, but it's about how I had that one day that I told y'all about last week where everything went wrong, and the realization that that's actually that's normal. Stuff goes wrong. You had a really good run of not having to go through the regular cycle every day. Stuff goes wrong. That's how life works. It's about moving forward despite the stuff going wrong. But I got a video coming out about that. While I'm on the topic, I hope y'all enjoy this t-shirt. Okay? I hope y'all enjoy this t-shirt. I bought this t-shirt on my honeymoon to Jamaica. I actually got this at Bob Marley's birthplace. As you can see, I will probably have to ruin this t-shirt in order to remove it from my body. I don't see a way that I can take this t-shirt off without tearing it up. Clearly, I bought it for a different phase of life, and I'm exiting that phase of life. You see the tightness? When I put it on and I was in the mirror, I saw nipples. I was like, oh, they're gonna have to age restrict my life. I'm gonna be age restricted. Because I decided to bring this t-shirt. Jenny, good luck. Good luck. I'm still not leaving the country until we are under a new administration. I don't trust it. Yeah. Can't trust it. Ooh, can't trust it. Can't trust it. Yeah, I don't trust that at all. Welcome, Tammy. You need to get over to the Patreon to see pictures of the most handsome golden retriever lab ever. I will do that after this live. I'm going to head over to the Patreon, get in that community chat. If you haven't already set up your account, make sure you do that. Also, set up an account so you can get the newsletter. You can get the monthly newsletter, and then you can even get the weekly newsletter. The weekly, Regina's been killing it on the weekly newsletter, so make sure you check that out. Sarge, I appreciate you, sir. Peace and chicken grease. Thank you. And TP, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Now, I know normally I start off with a rant. We have a lot of fun out of the gate. But I had a testimony that I just wanted to extend to y'all, because as I have said before, and shout out to London, Blackfriars. As I've said before, you never know what somebody is going through, right? You never know what somebody's going through. And the example that I gave the first time I talked about this was the fact that Regina, I just mentioned her, has been doing such amazing hard work and has been working to do research in order to make this world a better place. And unbeknownst to me, and I don't know if she intentionally kept this from me or whether it was her pride or anything like that, unbeknownst to me, she was simultaneously participating in a Cleveland Browns fan group. And I just have to tip my cap to the courage that it shows to show up here every day and do the work to try and get information to the people, knowing that you're going home, not only to root for the Cleveland Browns, but to be around other people, other miserable people that are rooting for the Cleveland Browns. So that was the example I gave before, but that was her testimony. What I want to talk about my testimony, because one thing that I have communicated to y'all, I've been very transparent about this. Our AC broke in our house a couple years ago, and we got through that summer because I convinced my wife that it was going to cost a lot of money in August to try and fix the AC, because they're going to try and rip you. That's what they do. So I convinced her to get through that year. And then it got to like the wintertime. I'm like, what we look like fixing the AC in the wintertime? We good. You know what I mean? We good. We actually made it through another summer. We made it through another whole year. And then it got to the following winter. And at that time, I had made it through 18 months. And shout out to Regina listening in the car. I made it through 18 months without AC. And I had an opportunity to leave the craps table. I decided I wasn't going to do it. Okay. I decided one more. Come on. One more again. And we got this summer. Yeah, this summer. Y'all know how hot it was this summer. And so not only has it affected my work, because you've seen my videos. So I'm sweating all throughout I start getting hot. You see the glisten on the forehead and all that all throughout the video. Y'all have seen that. I shoot a lot more videos at night. It's been a lot more night videos just because it's hot. But what y'all don't notice, what y'all don't see, is how it affects me off camera, how it affects me in my personal life. Because I had a choice whether or not I wanted to deal with the discomfort of it being unbearably hot in my home, or whether I wanted to change my preconceived notions of what is acceptable around strangers and children. And I decided I will go with option B. So I'm walking around with no shirt on. I'm walking around with A shirts. I'm greeting people at the door with A shirts. Okay. Y'all know A shirts. Y'all know A shirts. I'm greeting people at the door. Okay. I'm picking up Amazon packages. Okay. When my wife comes home with my kids, I go out back and show the whole neighborhood. You know what I mean? I come out looking like a dysfunctional patriarch of the family, just by virtue of how I'm presenting myself to the world. That is what I have done. Sometimes people recognize me and I'm like, hey, it don't pay as much as you think it do. You know what I mean? That's just what I got to say. Just because of what I look like. The other day we had company and I had to move my car and I had to walk back from moving my car. I could have changed. Why would I? It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon and it's in the 90s. What I'm going to change for? So I decided to go out and park my car like that. I walked back and almost got locked up because they thought I was a derelict in the neighborhood. I see people pointing at me in my own neighborhood, dogs barking at me. That's what I've been going through. Well, a friend of the family happened to come by the other day. And we told him about the situation because he asked, he said, is there anything I can help you with? And I said, not that I can think of. And he said, well, look, they got pantries that's open all the time. If you need to refinance, I'm sure we can look into something like that. But let's go get you a sandwich, because this is people look up to you. And this is not what they need to see. And I said, no, it's not that I'm doing that bad. I'm actually not doing that bad. It's just hot. Like I'm good. I'm good. Life has been very good. The channel's thriving. The Patreon's popping, all that. I'm just hot. I'm not broke. I'm just hot. Come on. It's hot outside. I ain't got to impress. I'm married already. I ain't got to impress nobody. That's the deal I made. The deal I made when I gave him my player card. When I handed him my player card, I said, this is it for me. This is it for me. But once I take that step, you know what I mean? I don't got to adhere to them standards. I ain't got to impress nobody. I don't be running like that no more. I ain't bought no new shirts. You know what I mean? I let the spot grow in the back. You know what I mean? The only reason why I got enhancements is for y'all. I got enhancements for y'all. Wait till I should have her come up here and do a live one time. Wait till she come into the live. I wasn't doing all what I used to make fun of myself about when I make fun of the old lives, when I see how shabby my hairline looks, and it looks like graphics from the 80s. That's how I walk around before I was doing the regular videos and live. That's how that was every day. She don't recognize this. She don't recognize this. When I play the old footage, she's like, that's my husband right there. With the fuzzy joint, that's my husband. Yeah. It come to find out that the friend of the family was in fact an HVAC guy. He did heating and air conditioning. And we told him about the situation. And he said, let me take a look. And he came up, and over the course of 2 days, he managed to get the air conditioning back working. Now you hear this a lot about, that you do something for somebody, and it's like it's not just that what you did is what it means, what it means what you did, because he didn't just fix my air conditioning. He gave me my dignity back. He gave me my dignity back because now I can go greet my children when they come home from daycare with a regular shirt. We have Amazon packages because we just did. Where are we boycotting Amazon right now? Amazon boycott. Okay, we got Amazon packages that come by, and I feel like they used some of the stuff wasn't delivered, and I feel like they skipped our house because they said, "I know this dude didn't buy this. I know he didn't. I know he ain't got it. Okay, this says the right number, but this man walking through the door with no shirt on. I know he can't afford this. I'm gonna keep it pushing." I think we missed deliveries because how I looked when I came out to get the package. Now I can get my deliveries again. Now I don't have to worry about the HOA or nobody messing with me. And again, I just want to say, as a testimony, y'all think I'm lying. All right, I put a little spice on it, but y'all think I'm lying. Y'all think I'm lying. Yesterday was the first day. Yesterday was the first day since March that I went to go get my kids with a shirt on. That is 100%. That is 100%. That's the first time I went to get my kids with a shirt on. It's too hot. I'm sorry. Y'all can think what y'all want about me. That ain't taking no money out of my bank account. All right? Your perception ain't taking no money out my bank account. So, hey, y'all can think what y'all want. We popping up. I tell you this, I have a shirt on when I go live. I tell you that right now. When that camera go on, I have a shirt on. So, you know. And by the way, for every member that has watched one of those vertical videos that I post on the members, 100% of the members' videos were conceived with an A shirt on. 100%. Once I turned on the camera, had to be reminded to put a shirt on just to record the video. In some cases, if you see me with a hoodie on, I just do that. I was like, let me just throw the hoodie on and record this real quick. That's how I've been rolling. You know what I mean? That's how I've been rolling. My wife's going to enjoy this. Make sure y'all like the video. A tank top. I should call them tank tops because y'all don't know A shirts, so I'm just gonna call them tank tops. We got a guest coming in about 20 minutes, and I got a ton that I want to get through with y'all. Let me get through the comments real quick. Waiting in the water. Welcome, Michelle. Welcome. Araceli, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. Nicole, the heat is crazy. Bananas. And we ain't even got to August yet. The way my perimenopause is set up, I wouldn't survive in that environment. You would find a way. I think you would. Reese, who's the worst of them? Green, Mace, Bondi, Gnome, Levitt. Who's Queen Bee? Let's see. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Nancy Mace, Pam Bondi, Chrissy Gnome, or Levitt. Now, it depends on whether or not you think it's worse if you know better or you don't know better. Are you truly delusional or do you know better? I think that Green and Levitt are truly delusional. I think Green and Levitt are truly delusional. I think that Mace, Bondi, and Gnome know better. And they are just completely gutlessly and shamelessly playing a role in order to cozy up to power. That's how I feel about Mace, Bondi, and Gnome. Now, so I personally, Green and Levitt give you the most fodder to drag them. Like they're the most likely for me to do a video on them because they like truly are deluded. So they're the people I would most likely like talk about more on the channel is those two. Although I don't think I've done a Levitt video though. She flooded the zone, man. I can't do a Levitt video fast enough. It should be the Levitt channel. I personally think knowing better is worse. So I would go in the Mace, Bondi, Gnome category. My thing about Bondi, Christy Gnome 4000. Christy Gnome 4000. Christy Gnome 4000. I'm gonna go with Christy Gnome. I think Christy Gnome. Because to have such a lack of humanity to cosplay around human suffering, to sign up to be the face of human suffering, which is what she like, she's getting, she getting all the whole Mar-a-Lago makeover and the Party City costume to take photos in front of people in prison. Like that's wild. And she's not good at it either. That's the thing. She's not good at it. Levitt, I guess you would define good. Just define good. Levitt and Mace are on two complete opposite spectrums, right? You don't believe anything that's coming out of their mouth at all. But Levitt is like one of those people that you meet that you become friends with and you find out later is a pathological liar. You'd be like, dang, she was so good at that. She was so quick with it. That was crazy. Noam is like talking to my 3-year-old. And she's trying to convince me that she didn't break the vase. That's Noam. I'm going Noam for 1,000. But that's an interesting conversation. All right. Here we go. I had some conversations I wanted to get in with y'all. Maybe I'm gonna save the boat one. Let's talk about Maga. Obviously, I posted the video yesterday about the Epstein fiasco. Going on with them. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. You was looking like a background character in the wild. I went through a phase of life where I was just watching movies and making fun of people in the background. It's fun. You can do that. I posted a video yesterday about the mess with Epstein and the Magas. I stand behind my original stance on that, which is that the fact that Epstein, look how tight this shirt looks. That just looks, look at that don't even look right. Hold on. Excuse me. Look how tight that shirt looks. This shirt looks like I'm trying to intimidate my ops. I stand by my original premise, which is that the fact that Epstein was the thing that got him is wild. Because I didn't think MAGAs were capable of a continuous train of thought. There's been so many instances where they will go down the complete wrong path of basic understanding and decency, and then shift gears when need be in order to stay on Team MAGA. We've seen this. So I didn't know that they were capable of a continuous train of thought. And some of them are not. You saw what Alex Jones and Charlie Kirk and Cat Turd and them are trying to sell. The idea that Trump is keeping it as collateral against the deep state in order to keep them at bay, which is obviously much more likely than Trump being on it himself. Obviously, like that is clearly it's a deep state. He's going to use it as blackmail against the deep state in the way that it was like. Some of them are not capable of continuous train of thought, but the fact that so many MAGAs have stayed on Trump's helmet about this is surprising. Very surprising. A very welcome consequence. I would also say the fact that, come on, man. I'm doing the best I can out here. I'm doing the best I can. As I just outlined, y'all lucky I got a shirt. Y'all lucky I got a shirt on. And by the way, you want to know, because old habits die hard. You know what time this shirt went on? 8:02. Okay? 8:02. That's what time this shirt came on. if that 5-minute video would have malfunctioned, we would have been age restricted. If something would have happened and I had to go live, we'd have just been age restricted. That's all would have happened. So I find the MAGA experience to be so unbelievable. But it makes sense. It makes sense given that so many of their deeply held beliefs are just insanity. It makes sense that the thing that would shake so many of them from MAGAdom would be Epstein. Not the environment, not the Department of Education, not Elon Musk having access to the information, not Pete Hegseth and us feeling unsafe, not us going to aggression on behalf of Israel. None of that. Not the farmers, not the white South Africans, not him saying, oh, wait, let's not do the mass deportation that mess with the farmers, even though, like, none of that. None of that. It makes sense that it will be something just so ancillary. And it sucks that I have to describe crimes of that type as being ancillary. I find crimes of that type to be very indicative of a person's character, but you didn't need that in order to know what kind of character we were talking about. You already had, I just, you know what? This is not what I'm here to talk about. I'm just like, you heard him on the Access Hollywood. You heard him. You heard him. Anyway. So here's where we at, right? Here's where we at with the Magas. So I posted a video today about the woman in Texas. And let me say that video, the members version of that video is 43 minutes. And I had to cut stuff out of it. I realized when I was shooting it how long it was about to be. I had to cut stuff out of it to get to 42. And then once it came in at 42 from the editor, shout out to my man D. Once it came in that long from the editor, I didn't want to put out a video I didn't want to put out anything that long. So I cut it down to 38, I think it is, 38 minutes. So I didn't have a lot of extra time to be able to say stuff. But think about this though, right? So that lady we found out was a therapist. We only know that she, and by the way, for those of you that don't know, if you haven't watched my video today, it's a very hateful troll that was out here laughing at people for being concerned about alligator Alcatraz. Thank you, Elvis. I appreciate that. She was out here trying to mock all the Dems for bothering to have concern for the the lives of people like her. Was revealed to be a therapist. Now, here's where my mind always goes. We only know she was a therapist because she went crying to NBC News. She went crying to NBC News. People connected her to the videos and then ran to her. That's the only reason we know. Do you know how many people are out there like that? Imagine how many people. That's the scary thing. That's the scary thing. Let's not pretend like there aren't a gang of other Auburn Gallaghers just out poisoning minds and not giving people the help that they asked for because you are a hateful troll at heart. deeply angering. I was going to say upsetting. It pisses me off. That's deeply angering to me. Now, in that video, I played a video of a woman who talked about how she doesn't believe in dogpiling because she feels like if you shame her, if you shame people, if you shame Republicans and Magas, they're not going to listen to you. In fact, it'll just cause them to double down. That's what she said. Well, excuse me for having a level of self-protection and having a level of assertiveness about our democracy. Excuse me for holding people responsible and accountable for not only their choices, but the hate that motivated said choice. Why is it always how to accommodate the MAGA? Why is it always how to accommodate the MAGA? Trying to understand MAGA, it's always how to accommodate the MAGA. Not how they re-enter proper society. Not what accountability and mea culpa we need to hear after what you just put us through. Not that. But it brings me to an interesting question, and I thought I would put it out to you guys. Because the other very annoying thing about it is, as this relates to the Epstein conversation, right? We do need people to shake off of the hate train, right? In order to reach a critical mass to oppose Trump's agenda. I used to get that all the time. Those of you who don't know Mark Curry is the guy who played Hanging with Mr. Cooper. I used to get that all the time when I was growing up. I would get Mark Curry and I would get Jay-Z. Now they kind of say you look like Jay-Z if you never made money. That's actually a joke of mine. I said they used to look like the kids used to tell me growing up I look like Jay-Z. Now they look like Jay-Z if you never made money. Like if Jay-Z picked the wrong member of Destiny's Child and had to get a second job doing podcasts to support her dream. That's what I would. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that, sir. Thank you. Actually, before I read the comments, here's a question. Do you feel like, and you can answer with a single word, for the MAGAs, grace or shame? Grace or shame? And I say that as a real question because we also need the MAGAs to oppose Trump. I feel shame in my heart. I feel shame deep in my heart and my soul. But at the end of the day, as somebody that's not a MAGA, my ego is not the most important thing. The most important thing is trying to set this country back on the right course. So I am willing to eat my anger and frustration in order to take the necessary steps to oppose this agenda. I understand that. I feel shame, but I don't know that that is the best course of action. So I'm curious for y'all. I asked in that video to put in the comments, but I'm just curious where y'all at with it right now. So y'all let me know. I'll go back and look at it. Just let me know grace or shame. Tony, my man. What's up, Reezy? Are the Dems, other than usual suspects, applying pressure about this Epstein list? If not, they're on the MAGA payroll. Well, I don't know if you guys probably have, because y'all be on top of stuff. That vote that they tried to force in order to release the Epstein list late last night, which got blocked by the Republicans, which was a genius move whether or not it was done with the real intention of getting at the Epstein list. One thing that you definitely did was tie all the Republicans to the Epstein list. So they are all like brilliant move, if only for that. So solid. Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Jennifer. The chat is undefeated tonight. Oh. They've been dragging my shirt. Y'all gonna get us age restricted, ain't you? Y'all gonna get us age restricted. They've been dragging my shirt. That's sad. That's sad. You know what I mean? Because I try and put on for the people. And I did that whole thing about just how significant it is that I even have a shirt. You realize how significant it is that I even have a shirt, you know? Thank you for all the amazing content and impressive jersey collection. What are your favorite Bob Marley albums? I dig Soul Rebels and Soul Revolution. I do enjoy Kaya. Catch a Fire. It's Catch a Fire. With a Kaya, I enjoy Kaya. I like Confrontation a lot. I like the live album a lot. I love the live joints where they do like all these extended, they'll do extended 10-minute version of Coming In From the Cold, Rat Race. Oh, what a rat race. I like all the live stuff. Catch a Fire. I think Catch a Fire is my favorite one. Early. That's early. That's very early. But I also prefer most of the can I say that? Most of the Bob songs I like was with the I3s. Was with Rita and the other two co-singers. Most of my favorite Bob songs are with the I3s. However, this is such a contradiction. I think I prefer the original lineup. I think I prefer Peter Tosh and Bunny Wailer. Anyway. Thank you, Sonia. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Sonia. My girl Joyce with the orthopedic boot. That was funny. No, I will not. She's funny. Tammy, if people shame their racist fan, we wouldn't be here. And on the topic, you realize the shame. You realize how much not having shame, you can see how that's working so well in Congress, not having shame. Right? Tammy's talking about shaming racist fam. We got whole congressmen, Randy Fine, Andy Ogles. We got whole congressmen just out here with full racism with their chests. And not even being censured by their own party. Just, he got an R next to his name. I guess it's fine. That's where we at with it. But I'm not supposed to shame the Magas, though. Welcome, Sil. Welcome, Sil. I appreciate you. Welcome, Glenn. Welcome, Glenn. Much appreciated. True MAGA, 30% of Trump's base. We don't need them. Just need the ones that were on the fence and the independents that voted for him. That's technically true, instructor, but I want to see the whole thing topple. Let's go. Iggy, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Much appreciated. Thank you again. Circling the block. Thank you, Keith. Was this in reference to the Marjorie Taylor Greene discussion? I'm assuming it was. I think Keith is a longtime viewer of the channel. All right, let me see what y'all got on here. Oh, by the way, tomorrow's video probably will be a Jasmine Crockett video about her taking the lead in the race for the Senate and also the gerrymandering in Texas. And Harris Faulkner trying to come. Ooh, Harris Faulkner did it. She done did it. Harris Faulkner trying to come for her. I got all that in one video. That should be out tomorrow. That should be tomorrow's video. Need. I appreciate you, man. Respect. Respect. I. All right, let me see. I'm going back to where we were talking about before I bring on my esteemed guests. I'm going to go. Oh, I will say this. Before I really got into Bob, people would play Legend just on repeat ad nauseum. So I've heard like every song on Legend, I've heard probably 300 more times than any other Bob Marley song. And I'm kind of over it. So like none of my top 10 probably favorite songs, Bob songs, are on Legend, just because I've just heard them too many times. That's what society has done to me. You know, what do you want from me? All right, let me go back to. Oh, I love Small Axe. In the big tree. Woo, woo, woo. We're in a small axe. Woo, woo, woo. Ready to cut you down. Ready to cut you down. If you were here last week for the 90s dance party, you know I play fast and loose with lyrics. So if you like our diehard Bob fan, you just got to bear with me. All right, looks like most of y'all talking about Shane. Before I go in there and waste too much time looking at it, I will see what my past the mic Reese. Y'all always clowning my voice. Y'all always, you know what I mean? That's a little wrong. That's a little wrong. Now, you guys remember a couple weeks ago, it's been a couple weeks ago now, when I brought on, oh, there we go. We, the people, are upset. We need new blood in Congress, both sides. I don't disagree with that. I definitely don't disagree with that. That's why in my order for the thumbnail for the Jasmine Crockett video, Schumer going to be on there. Schumer going to be on there. You probably remember a couple weeks ago, here as my guest on the live, I had on my old friend Rod from The Black Guy Who Tips. And what came out of that conversation was how many times I've gone live with Rod, but he's only half of The Black Guy Who Tips. So I said I would love for Karen to join me at some point. And he actually set that up. So I am very excited and enthused to welcome my very esteemed guest who I've actually never gone live with before. So I'm excited for this opportunity. Karen, the other half of The Black Guy Who Tips. What is going on?
Hey, baby, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm in DC, so I'm doing as well as can be expected at this point in time. And let me help you go ahead and say what's up. I'm gonna figure out how to get these names back on because I don't know. I know why I took them off. I know why I took them off because I did some shoots from here. That's why.
No problem. Everything is good here. I want to tell my secretary thank you for scheduling everything. Cause I tell Roger to schedule stuff like this. It's like, cause you know my schedule, so he can kind of get it together where I'm able to do this. And I'm excited to be here, sweetie.
Absolutely. Now, so when did you guys last shoot? Did you guys shoot something already?
Yes, we did a show today, right when like ended minutes before I came here.
Oh wow. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
we
you
do
are
our
like
show
hot
like
off the press.
yeah, we do our show 5 days a week.
You are hot off the press. Now, what were the topics today?
We did a little bit of gender wars, and for gender wars, we go across the internet and we talk about videos where it's like men versus women and things like that, and kind of give our critiques about it, but we view it differently. We don't actually talk about the war itself. We talk
Okay.
about like the quality of it, how well they interacted with each other, like will their comments actually start a debate in the comment section. Like that's kind of how we view like the gender wars, because those things go viral, but they basically are the same thing.
Yeah.
So we kind of do it from like a different perspective. Like we'll talk about sound quality, we'll talk about voices, we'll talk about how it was edited, things like that.
Okay. Okay. I respect that. I like it. Have you guys had a discussion yet about these I assume at this point you've talked about the black fatigue, that whole hashtag, and that like going around on TikTok and whatnot. That's been going on for like months. Have you not?
I haven't heard of black fatigue. Like, are people just fatigued, period? Are they fatigued with the political system? Like,
Okay, so black fatigue started as a way for black people to communicate how exhausted they are in dealing with the systems at play.
Okay.
Right? That's how it started. The hashtag got co-opted by racists to talk about how they are tired of black people. Now, of course, they will, in true Fox News fashion, and this is not Fox News that did the black fatigue thing, but this is a Fox News tried and true. So they will just show any and every example of black people acting up to show, because represent all of us. Because granted, we are the only subset where you find the worst video, and that represents all of us, and that does not apply to anybody else. So naturally, they will find the video of a brother acting up, or two guys fighting, or a girl twerking at the light, in order to talk about how they have black fatigue. That has been like a whole thing. And so it popped back up recently with a video that I made, which I definitely needed to holler at y'all about. Did you follow the new rules that Carnival just pushed through in order to clean up the image of their brand?
What the new rules is? What is they saying out on Carnival Cruise?
Okay, so Carnival has decided that since they have been known as the Walmart of the sea,
Yes.
and the party cruise, somebody put Section 8 of the sea.
Oh no!
Yeah, the Section 8 of the sea. That was one of the comments. So Carnival decided that they passed a series of rules. They're going to be enforcing no weed. They're banned Bluetooth speakers.
They must not want people to actually be on a cruise then. Like,
well, they banned the fans from boots on the ground. They banned the fans because they said it was a safety hazard. Now, if they ban the fans because people were being obnoxious with them, so let me just finish. So they banned the fans, then they banned so they're going to enforce the drink limits, right? So no more like unlimited alcohol.
Okay, and that makes sense.
People have been saying that hip hop is banned. Carnival has tried to dispute that hip hop is outright banned, but a number of people have come forward and saying their requests were denied because for them to play hip hop because they were told that they weren't to play it. So that's like one of those things they didn't want to put down on paper, I'm thinking.
Right. They didn't want it official and they didn't want it on record. But I realized slowly a lot of people are kind of anti-DEI, but they don't want to say they're anti-DEI. So they'll do things like this to kind of weed things out, even though white people do weed, white people listen to rap. Like white people do a lot of these things too. So and white people fight on their boats too. They act like it's just us, but I've seen enough videos where you see all different diaspora people fighting on the Carnival Cruise.
I had video of white people fighting on the boat. I had to save it for the members version. But this one got me mad. Okay. Literally, I'm so mad at y'all. I'm so mad at y'all. And I'm by y'all, I'm mad at my own audience. I almost made a whole nother video. And the only reason I didn't do it, because Ms. Ray held me back. She's like, hold me back. I'm gonna make another video. No, the real reason I didn't do it is because that first one was a grower. It didn't pop off. It was a grower, and I was like, that's not really doing that good. I don't know if I want to do a second one. It ended up doing fine, so maybe now I could do it. This is why I'm mad, because when I was recording that video, I was like, I'm just gonna react to this honestly, how I feel, and it's gonna land where it lands. And what I said was, the weed thing, weed was just like banned nationwide. So them deciding you can't smoke weed on the ship, just go back to your 2019 playbook. Just go back to 2019. Like, you know what to do. If you are a real smoker like that, that has never stopped you. So I don't really see what the problem and the issue is. That's number one. Bluetooth speakers, I agree with that. Because
everybody don't want. I mean, your personal music is your music, but have headphones on. I feel like that the same way about public transportation and shit like that. Nobody wants to hear it is your personal choice.
We were just talking about shame, Karen, and you realize how much we used to shame the people that used to walk around with the boom boxes. You know what I mean? The people that used to walk around with the boom boxes, that was out of turn. Now all of a sudden, that's like the thing to do. By the way, I apologize. I got to stop leaning back because then you see how tight this shirt is. I didn't realize how tight this shirt was till I put it on, but I can't take it off without ripping it because it's that tight. So I said this is the last time.
I see that humble brag. I hear you trying to flex and rip your shirt off. No,
that's just because it shrunk. No, that's just because it shrunk. No. So I was like, okay, the weed thing don't bother me. The Bluetooth thing don't bother me. The fans,
because it could be hot outside. Like, not trying to funny, people don't use those like fans just for show.
Are those fans, because you guys are in North Carolina, so you guys are adjacent to boots on the ground. Like, the boots on the ground are right next to y'all. Y'all see a lot of fans on the ground? Oh, no, fans on the ground. Y'all see a lot of those fans? Like, is that very prevalent down there?
People do have those fans. People do like use those fans. Like, particularly, and truth be told, a lot of people are, particularly when they got like the extra wide ones or the extra big ones. A lot of them come from like drag culture and and things like that, and have bedazzled and all that stuff. Like, and for me personally, none of that bothers me. Those oversized fans kind of have always been a thing, but people are kind of taking it to a next level. They match their outfits, the scenery, the music. Like I said, none of those bother me. But you might have somebody who go, I just want a big ass fan because it's hot, and I just like to, fan myself like I'm, in at a plantation, and I'm okay with that, and it's all right. You know what I'm saying? Like so, I have a problem with them banning it because you're not really giving a good reason. Other than you're trying to attack a group without saying you're attacking a group, so you're punishing everybody.
So the reasons they gave was safety, which is just absurd. Like, they said for safety reasons. I'm like, look, if you ban the fans because you were annoyed with the fans, and mind you, I recorded that video the day after I got back from Beyonce's Cowboy Carter tour. And I would say probably 10% of the audience, which is a whole gang of people because it was a sold out show. I would say probably 10% of the audience brought those fans and clapped them instead of clapping every time. Like, they do that instead of clapping.
Yes, because I went to the Renaissance tour, and yes, that's what they used them for. It's almost like an extension of them of whatever they're doing at the time. So yeah, people use it to clap, people use it for beats, people kind of take them and smack them in their hands, they set a mood, or whatever it is. So I think that, like I said, it does not bother me at all. But I think it's funny that, and put like this: is it all fans or just those over the top, or just like not over the top, but like extra big fans? Because
That's a
people
good
have
question.
small fans that they might bring for their own personal use, which might not be this big elaborate fan. So are you saying no fans? Because you're on a boat, it's 100 degrees outside, you sitting, so I just gotta sweat now.
Are you saying can you bring the Sojourner Truth, the old school
Come on, can
with
you
the
bring the
popsicles?
MLK? Can I
With the
bring the one with the funeral home services on it?
So my thing with the fans, I'm like, look, I'm not completely opposed to you banning the fans, but your reasoning was terrible. So
Right.
that raises my suspicion on the whole lot of the rules that you're trying to pass, because you try to put what. See, Karen, I feel like this is common sense. If you try and sell me some bull amongst other stuff that seems legitimate, now you done cast suspicion on the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's one of those things. I look at it like this: your audience normally comes because you're some of the cheaper cruises. Now, don't be funny. Like, I've seen cruises, I've been on a cruise, they can get really expensive. The boats can get outrageous. And so for a lot of people, they do their family unions on so you they make these decisions, and
Have you
then
have you done Carnival?
I didn't do Carnival when we
You haven't
went.
done Carnival, okay.
Mm-mm. So I haven't
Was
done.
it up for discussion when you and Rob were talking about options? Did you consider Carnival at
Oh
any
no,
point?
Roger has never been on a cruise. I went like years ago, kind of
Okay,
without him. And
okay.
so like for me, I didn't really do the Carnival thing, and I think it was years ago, so it was before Carnival, kind of, because Carnival wasn't the Carnival that we know now, if that makes sense. Like,
Mhm.
you had all these boats, but you didn't have like a Carnival line where they push and they promote, and hey, you can go here, you can do this, you can have all these days, and they make these decisions, Reese, and then when their money is impacted by it, and people not coming, and people not booking, and people canceling their plans because they're upset by the decisions that you chose to make. No, nobody asked you to do this. Nobody requested this. You did this on your own accord. And so now you're going to deal with the consequences with people going, well, I will choose another cruise line now. Because they're not the only one. Down in Florida and in the harbor of New York and out of California, they have tons of boats that go in and out that are not Carnival and not Carnival related or connected to it. So it's going to be interesting to see how it impacts their dollar line, And I guarantee you, this is some executive somewhere that made the decision that really doesn't have to deal with. But like this, if there's a fallout, they're going to get their check and they're going to move on. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not going to be the ones losing their jobs. They're not going to, what I'm saying? They're not going to be the one that
You
has
mean
to
like
deal with the fallout of that.
you mean like the people that set up Essence Fest?
Yeah,
They just
yeah.
got their check and kept it pushing.
They're not going to be the, and it's
Uh,
sad, but people need to be held accountable. And the way a lot of things are structured, there's no accountability.
Now, by the way, if you are in the chat, because I'm curious, I asked Karen if she had been on Spirit. I saw Miss Ray on Spirit. I use Spirit and Carnival interchangeably. I asked.
I have never been on. I've been scared of Spirit all my life. I've been looking like, ooh, you get on Spirit, you're gonna lose your spirit. So I say, nope. I go ahead and pay the up charge and go on and fly any other way. And I'm not knocking Spirit, because there's a lot of people, they love it. It's been good to them. I'm not knocking it at all. But I know for me personally, I just been frightened of it, just hearing people's stories about it.
Now here's a question. To the chat. I've been on Frontier. Do I get to thumb my nose at Spirit if I've been on front? I don't do Spirit. I'm a Frontier guy myself. That was
one step up.
I will never do Spirit. I'm Frontier. Let me know if you guys, back to Carnival. Let me know if you guys have actually been on a Carnival cruise. I would love to get you guys actual like firsthand experiences of going on a Carnival cruise. Let me know what you guys thought about it. Just throw it in the chat. So Karen, this is where things went left, right? Was the hip hop, right? The hip hop discussion. So I said, look, I was rocking with you with the speakers. I was rocking with you on the weed. I was rocking with you on the limiting the drinks because it was like 15 a day or something like that. And I was
and that's still a lot because most people don't drink 15 a day, but you do have people that are really heavy drinkers. So not trying to fund, it's like, hey, we have to cap this, and that's probably like per day. So and it probably saves them a lot of money, if that makes sense. And when people get drunk, people have a tendency to be a much more rowdier as a collective.
So it went left at the hip hop because I said, look, not only do lots of different people like hip hop, but people fight to all type of music. If I was going to draft fighting music, hip hop would be in my top 3, but I would put that early 2000s party music. I said like LMFAO, and I would put that, and I would put new metal in there too. I would definitely put new metal in there.
They're definitely metal. And I know people don't listen to the lyrics, but if you listen to some of them lyrics, you'd be like, oh, this is very violent.
Yeah, I would 1,000%. Yeah,
I'd be like, I wasn't ready for this with my metal.
That Rage Against the Machine, I would put that on there. That Limp Bizkit, come on, man, come on. So for them to specifically say hip hop, I said, now you off, Spirit. And I didn't have but so much time in that particular video. I have more time in a live to be able to talk things out. But this is what really. So I made that comment. And I said, Spirit, you wrong with the hip hop and specifying the hip hop, but that in association with trying to sell me that the fans was a safety hazard makes me look sideways at all of the stuff that you were trying to do, even the stuff that I previously said was fine and I agree with, just in a vacuum.
So
right?
Are you saying that Carnival Cruise is the spirit of, the ships?
I'm saying that Carnival Cruise tripped at the 4-yard line like Daniel Jones, and they let their entire, they gave up the bag. They gave up the bag.
Did. I think this is going to impact them more than they think it is. Ask Target when people are mad. Because I tell the thing about Target, Reese, people fail to realize this is not a protest. People are mad. There is a difference. When it's a protest, it's an ask, it's a demand. You meet the demand, and then you return with your dollars. People are mad. And when people are mad, they don't care what you do. They don't care what you say. They don't care how you act. They're mad. So they're never coming back. And anything you do for 90 days becomes a habit. So you've had enough people that have had Target out of their lives for more than 90 days. So they broke that relationship with Target. They broke it. So for a lot of people, they don't think about Target no more. They're not going back to Target no more because they were mad, they were disappointed, and they believed what Target sold them. The thing is, Target wasn't doing anything special. They weren't doing anything extraordinary. They were just doing something that benefited them, but they didn't realize that people were like, hey, I come here and I support it for this reason. You took away the reason, but then why am I here?
Yeah. I am very... Target is really trying to... They really try. They done sent them big head texts and all that, trying to get back. So Karen, I put that video out, right? I look at the comments, right? All of a sudden, I didn't realize that the entire congregation from Bill Cosby's pancake sermon was in the comments talking about we need to clean it up. So if y'all don't know how to act and this, that, how can you excuse this, that, and the behavior? I'm like, whoa. First of all, I recorded that video thinking that I might have given Carnival too much credit because I agreed with most of it. Are we going to not act like I didn't agree?
It don't matter. The internet don't care.
Doesn't matter. No, internet don't. I'm like, first of all, I agree. Somebody said in the comments, this is rare. They were respectful about it, but like, this is rare, Reese, but I disagree with almost everything you said. How? So you think they should be able to smoke weed? You think they should be able to do the speakers? You think no drink limits at all? Bring the fans, but ban the hip hop? How is that even possible? How is that even possible that you disagree with everything that I said? I was so mad.
It's frustrating, yes.
But this is the real reason I was mad. This is the real reason I was mad.
Okay.
Nobody was saying not to have standards of behavior and conduct. Nobody was saying that. What I was saying was people fight to a lot of different kind of stuff. So
Yes,
if we want to have like a consistent line of behavior, then everything that you would be cutting out wouldn't be specifically black coded. And if we want to have more conversation about it, the thing that really drives me up a wall, we actually brought it up a second ago, where I said, why is it that a brother acting up in Detroit after dark by the bus stop gets pressed all over the internet, and I gotta feel bad because of what he did? Nobody else has to deal with that.
No,
okay?
Yeah,
Let's not act like...
and it's very frustrating because the thing is that's the systematic racism, and that's something that we have to live with. And everybody is adapting and adjusting the best way they know how. Every other group just about gets to be like individuals. Every other group, except for black people. And I'm even going to go specifically black Americans. We're us black Americans. We are grouped together. And I tell people that are black in America that comes outside of America, that come to America, you have privilege. And now they wouldn't believe that. The reason why I say you have privilege is because y'all can argue about who got the best jollof. Y'all can argue about different areas of your country and the different divisions of your people. Like y'all can argue about that. Here, we don't have that luxury. We always have been all lumped together because we lost that history that would allow us to have those divisions. And so a lot of times it's hard for them to adjust coming here where they've had the privilege to be like, yeah, I'm black, but I'm this type of black. I'm that type of black. I'm blah, 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 blah. And they come here and us, I don't know if I can say niggas, us niggas can go, you a nigga too. And they go, I'm not no nigga. Yes, you are. That's how white people see you. You can believe that if you want to or not, but you go outside and get shot, you're going to be treated the same as I am.
Well, what we learned, Karen, it's more than the African diaspora. That's that too. So
yes, and I mean, it's a lot of different groups. It's Jamaicans, and I'm not like specifically, but like black people that are outside that come here, they have the privilege to have all these divisions and all these different subsection, all these tribes. That's a luxury, and a lot of them don't consider that a luxury, but it is a luxury that we don't have here as being born and raised in America.
Now that's interesting because, and I agree with what you said. I was just talking through this last week, and it was spawned by the Essence Fest conversation, right? But it reminds me of, so I spent a lot of time in New York City. So I've been around a lot of people from across the African diaspora. My two best friends are Jamaican, right? Jamaican, their parents immigrated. And so they're first generation, right? And I would talk about being around lots of people, being around so many people, so many black people that have that kind of cultural connection, that I'm in the minority and not having that kind of cultural connection and trying to, as a joke, I was telling my friend Brandon, I used to call us Southern blacks. I used to call us Southern blacks because we don't have no South Carolina blacks. Like we don't got no flag. Like we don't got no day. You know what I mean? I can't use Maryland, nothing like that. So we used to call us, because I didn't know what to call, people that were from here and couldn't draw their background from outside of here. But what's interesting about the situation we find ourselves in now, right? It's like not having that cultural connection, right? But having the non-blacks be able to press this perception of us and blast it across the world to influence how even people, when they come in, feel about us.
Yes,
but then here's the trick bag though, Karen, right? Here's the other trick bag of it, because it's not as if there isn't a litany of black people, black American rooted people that have been immensely successful, right? Where you look at the kind of, we were just talking about Target when we were talking about the kind of wealth that we've accumulated as a group, even despite all of the holes that they have poked in our buckets over the course of 500 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
But somehow those things never represent the group. The success never represents the group. The wealth never represents the group.
No.
It's only the worst stereotypes that always represent the group. And in fact, they try and turn the successes, the things that disprove the negative stereotypes of a Black American, they will try and turn those people and make them examples of that work against the rest of. They will try and turn us against the Jay-Z and the Beyonce and the Obama and whoever the case it may, Magic Johnson, whoever has bad. They will try and turn us against all of those people while saying that only those people represent us. And not only is that what's being said about us from other Americans, that's the perception that people come in with of who we are.
Yes, because and the thing is, the white supremacy, we export it and we import it. We export it, but because you have people, even though the Black people, brown people, and all that stuff, they have these preconceived notions of what Black Americans are here, even before they get here. So a lot of the white supremacy stuff they have been taught. So when they come here, they, not all of them, some of them will say some of the same things, and we African Americans here are not any better. A lot of the white supremacists about Africans in Jamaica have been imported here, so we have preconceived notions about them that are not true also. And so that's where you get that division amongst the Black people here that are born and raised here, and the people that are not born and raised here, and the people that are like this first, second generation. And for me, I feel like this: as long as you are not anti-Black, I don't care. But that's how I function. I don't get into the nuances and the back and forth and all that stuff. I know people, and I have friends that are Africans and things like that. So that doesn't bother me. But you have to accept the reality of how we function here in America. Our white supremacy is a tidbit different. White people are white people no matter where you go, and that racism is going to follow you no matter where you go. But here is different. It's very deadly. Like, in other parts of the world, not that they won't kill you, but it's a very different thing. The foundation of this country was based off of it. They stole this country, and that's very different than other places where they went and they took stuff from people that were already there. It's not the same.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that. Did you guys have a show where you talked about the whole debate coming out of Essence Fest?
We talked about it and we discussed it, and the thing about that's very, very interesting, because the thing is, from my understanding, Essence Fest was something that was Black, African American. It's been a long time growing into what it is today. And so you had a lot of local vendors, you had a lot of local people, a lot of the community came to build it to the point to where it is now. And like a lot of stuff, once you get corporations in the mix, once you get them white dollars in the mix, all of a sudden people start fighting. All of a sudden it becomes limited resources. But when it's us and it's the community, the resources are limited too, but some people treat it differently. And you always have people that feel like they have the right to be in charge, regardless if they qualified to be in charge or not, just because they Black. Just because you're Black does not mean you're qualified. It does not mean you care about our people as a whole, as a collective. Just Blackness as a collective. It doesn't always mean that. And so we have a tendency, and I get it though, because Black people could not survive if they did not extend love. We couldn't survive if we didn't love the other Black and brown people here. We just couldn't. It would mean the death of us, and we understand that. So what we do is that we always extend love to you regardless of your background, because we don't understand all the oppression, but we understand some of the oppression that you have to deal with being here in this country. But that love is not always reciprocated. Sometimes that love is turned around and used against us. Like we're the problem, even though you wouldn't be where you were without our dollars, without our support, without our love. You wouldn't be there. But once you get to your goal, all of a sudden we don't matter because you bought into that white supremacy, and that white supremacy that tells you that you are better than us.
I have a funny story about what you just said, where you said just because you are black doesn't necessarily mean that you can be in charge or that you have our best interests at heart. So, Anscape, which is like the ESPN, that's like the Disney kind of black cultural arm. It used to be called the Undefeated. When I was there, it was called the Undefeated.
I remember Undefeated.
They
yes,
changed it to Anscape, I think it is. Now at the time, I don't want to call anybody out by name, but I'll just say this. So when Disney came out and said that they were going to develop this arm, and it was going to be pushed through ESPN, there was a lot of black talent that was there. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of people that were excited about the idea of doing something like that because they had done similar kinds of pieces, but they just didn't have a home for it, right? It would just go on ESPN, even if it was like sports adjacent. So there was a lot of excitement about it. And then they develop it, push it out, and decide, you know what, we're going to have Jason Whitlock be in charge. We're going to have him, he going to be in charge.
Reese, I remember that. And there were a lot of people that was like, I will not work with him.
Literally none of the people were willing to work for a Jason Whitlock-led brand. And they had to remove him as the head of it before they were like, okay, our bad. You didn't ask nobody? You couldn't have asked anybody. That's the only way that choice gets made.
Because the thing is, white people only ask the black people in the room. And guess what? A lot of times you had to do certain things. You had to compromise. There are certain things you have to do to get in certain rooms, just period. And they're not going to let just anybody in that room because people that will be like, hey, you're wrong, or we need to talk about it, or the DEI, or all this other stuff. You're going to be the first thing smoking out that room because they don't want to hear that. They bought you in here so you can spew the same shit that they're saying.
I'm in the DMV, so and I work from home, so I don't get to be around a whole lot of Magas, and I'm guessing that you don't have the benefit being in North Carolina. But not only that, you and it just occurred to me. I can't believe I got to, and I try and not keep people too long so that they come back.
You good, baby. We can talk.
You in Mark Robinson territory. You in Mark Robinson territory. I forgot. I don't know how we got this long without me asking about Mark Robinson. Didn't that dude still get like 40% of the vote? He still got like 40% of the vote.
And this is the thing. There was no way he was gonna win, period.
Like you don't think so? Even without the mini soldier?
He was never going to win. Because one misconception, particularly being here down south, I have very, very strong opinions about a lot of this shit that a lot of people in other parts of the country don't understand because they do not live here and they don't have to deal with the bullshit that happens here in my state. They have luxuries and privileges that we don't. I don't have time to sit and debate with you. I don't have time to argue with you. I don't have time for your philosophy. My life is on the line. I go vote. I don't have time for a perfect candidate. I would die if I sat down and be like, my candidate has to check off every goddamn box. Bitch, are you going to do your job? And once I put you in the office, I'm going to demand that you do your job. And if you don't, I'm going to vote your ass out. It's that simple to me. And but when you talk to people in other parts of the country, and and I don't know how I feel. Bitch, I don't care about your feelings. Because guess what? Right now, we all suffering because of motherfuckers' feelings.
I love that. I love that. I love that. That's those purity tests that you see I see them in my comments all the time.
Yeah,
I try and give somebody props for raising their voice or standing up in opposite. Well, she didn't. Yeah, well, she didn't. And I'll be like, who's the magical candidate? Who's the magical?
Who is the magical candidate? And like for me, when it comes to a lot of political stuff, because me and Roger talk, on our podcast, I don't talk on social media a lot because I've realized this. I'm not trying to be funny. Most people are dumb. So I don't want to have a political conversation with you when you are not politically engaged. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what nobody has did. You don't even know who your mayor or your Congress or your Senate is. Like, what are you talking about? Why would I have a real live conversation with somebody when at the end of the day, you don't care? I'm not changing your mind. You're not changing my mind. And before I call you names, I'd rather not have a conversation with you.
I like that. I like you be bringing this fire and brimstone on the black guy who tips. I'm like, yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And like I said, this is the stuff. And like I say, we have a segment of the show, and it's hilarious. It's called Politics Until We Get Mad. So Roger, he covers stories until one of us gets mad. And it could be one story, it could be 3 stories, it could be 5 stories, it could be 7 stories. But once one or both of us get mad, we literally stop talking about it. Because
wait, does one person need to get mad or both?
Oh, just one of us.
Just one?
Okay. So yeah, but most of the time we both mad. But most of the time, if one of us get really, really angry, we'll go, okay, that's the last story. And so that's how we cover political news, because I put like this. I'm gonna keep it real with you.
That's brilliant.
I am resolute. I am adamant about how I feel about a lot of things. And there's nothing nobody can say to make me change my mind. Everything I hear now is excuses to me. I do not want to hear your excuses. They wanted this. They voted for this. They knew this was the end result. Don't you look me in my eye and tell me that they voted against their best interest. He ran on racism. There's nothing else he ran on. So don't tell me anything different. Like I said, this is why I can't talk to most people, because I hear excuses. I hear things that will not hold the populace accountable. And see, the anger that I have within my heart has been here for a very long time, because the thing about it, Reese, when Trump got voted in, I can't speak for nobody else. When Trump got voted in the first time, I was livid. I was livid and I was heartbroken. Because for the first time, because racism existed and all that stuff. For the first time in my life, I had to look and accept it, that white people as a totality, not individual, as a totality is racist, and they want me dead. This is just me talking for myself. I had to grasp that. I had to embrace it. I had a fire in me that just would not go out, and it's still there. It's not as intense, but if I'm provoked bad enough, it will come. And this is why for Hillary Clinton and for Kamala Harris, and when Joe Biden was running, I was very adamant about, bitch, I remember. Y'all out here fucking around. Y'all out here arguing. Y'all out here debating. Bitch, not me. I'm voting for whoever the Democratic Party person is, because it's 2 sides in this country. People go, I want a third party. I'm 46 years old. Y'all been talking about third parties forever. Do something. You do something. Don't look at me complaining about a third party. Bitch, run for dog catcher. Run for librarian. Run for the school board. Where does Green Party? Where y'all at? Run then, win office, get a percentage, and get a third party. Don't, because the thing is, what you're saying is you want something, but nobody is really willing to do the work. So since y'all not willing to do the work, I live in reality. And so since I live in reality, it's a Republican and a Democrat. Republicans want me dead. Bitch, you never get my vote. What are we doing here? I'm not wasting time. I'm gonna take my black ass to the poll and vote every time, and I'm voting for whoever the Democratic is. Why? Because they will hear me. I can push them. I can protest. See, and the thing is, when I look at people and look at what they say and what they do and things like this, I knew we were in trouble. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Reese, people go, remember when Michelle Obama said, and she was like, when they go low, we go high. And people gave her a hard time. And people act like you lying. She was telling the truth. Y'all don't go low, because I'm gonna tell you what low is. Low is Joe Biden got up there, he glitched. Bitch, I was still gonna vote for him. That's going low, because I don't care if Trump get up there and piss on the motherfucking stage. They're going to vote for him. We are not built like that. We're not built like that. It's always some excuse. It's always arguing and bickering and all this stuff. But I was going to vote for him, and I'm not gonna lie. I was one of the people that was highly upset that he stepped down. I was mad. I was upset, and I will never forgive people for that. I won't. I can't speak for nobody else. I won't. Because no matter what y'all say, that man did his job. He did his job. And you have somebody who made an error and the media demanded that that man leave. They rolled his ass until he stepped down. And I remember, Reese, I had took a nap. I had taken a nap, and Roger woke me up, and Roger say, Karen, Joe Biden stepped down, and my heart sank because now I'll look sad. I was like, we are not going to win. Once my husband told me he stepped down, I was like, in my mind, it didn't matter who the candidate was. We were not going to win. I would have been satisfied with Joe Biden running again and still losing. Then for us to go through this, you put a black woman up there, somebody that looked just like me. Black women as the backbone of the Democratic Party. Y'all, and the thing that really made me mad was that a lot of white people, even in our party, wanted to do all these things where we're at the convention. You was like, hey, let's see. Couldn't nobody spend that money but her. So I was upset from the beginning because y'all really didn't want her there. And so I'm going, this is going to be a problem. It's going to be a division. Okay, she won. I'm going to support whoever and I meant that. I'm going to support whoever the Democratic person is. But she got there, and sexism and racism was why she lost. And when you tell people that, in my mind, I hear nothing but excuses. Don't tell me that the policies and the things that she would have did, we would be where we are now. We would not be. You are lying to yourself, and you're not telling the truth. Like in my mind, and I think I'm very adamant about these things because I live down south where I don't have the luxury of a lot of things that people in DC, people in New York, people out in California. I don't have those luxuries. I don't have those luxuries, and so since I don't have those luxuries, I live in reality. I don't live in a made-up world or woulda, coulda, shoulda, or wishing. No, the reality is you do the easy part, voting, so you don't have to do the hard part, suffering that we're doing now.
Wow. That was a whole lot. I see people like responding to you very well on the chat. So I know people are definitely very, very much agreeing with you. Now, my view when it comes to Biden and stepping down, because you gave me a lot to potentially respond to. When Biden won in 2020, my thought was relief. I could finally put my phone down. Ain't no World War III like daily check. So
guess what? I can get relief. My COVID vaccine now because a lot of people don't realize prior to that we wouldn't have got our vaccines if Trump had won again.
So there was relief, and then I said the Democrats have bought themselves 4 years to figure it out and sort it out in order to hand the baton off. At no point in 2020, the whole lead up to, at no point did I even conceive of Biden running in 24. I was like, it wasn't a practicality to me. I said, you have to figure it out over the course of the 4 years. And I don't know what conversations were had, who didn't want to do what and what not. Obviously, you can't make the president do something he doesn't want to do. Mm-mm. But I knew what a liability his age was going to be by 2020.
But Reese, my thing is this: Trump is old too. This is the thing. Trump is old. Bernie old. And so this is my argument against that.
Wait a minute, Karen. You are correct. They're all old, but he was showing it in a different way in 20. So I was just projecting what it was going to be like in 24.
And you know what? And to an extent, I understand that. But I live in the reality. It is what it is. We got what we got. And guess who put them? The voting populace did this. The voting populace put them there. Because I'm going to tell you one thing. When Joe Biden ran, child, we had the collage. We had the gays. We had the blacks. We had everybody in there. There was something wrong with every single solitary candidate. This is why I don't want to hear that we have something. Everything was wrong with every candidate. Everything was wrong with every candidate. Kamala didn't win because she was a woman. Buttigieg didn't win because he was gay.
All of the other possibilities in that would have been there in 24.
Yes,
but nothing was. It appears that no work, no vetting, no polishing, it appears that nothing was done on 24 to make anybody a viable candidate other than Kamala. So that's really was the only place that you could go. Right. The other thing the other question I have for you is because one of the things that people have said about the Democratic Party, right, moving forward, is they are going to the Democratic nominee 2028 best white guy available, like most best white guy, because you at that point you'd be programming against the racism and the sexism of the voting populace. How do you feel about that?
Right. And the thing is, the next election will be the most blandest, particularly on Democratic side, will be the most blandest thing ever. And I'm going to tell you why, because the populace has showed the politicians they don't want a white woman. They don't want a black woman. They want a white man. Like this is what they showed them. And so they're scared now. So no, you're not going to get no gays. No, you're not going to get, all the thing, the trans, you're not going to get all the things that y'all claim y'all wanted. Because that's the thing. People talk, but your votes lets the politician know what you really want. Because at the end of the day, everything that happens in this country falls on the populace. And I 100% blame the populace for the situation that we're in now. The non-voters, I blame you too. You set out, I blame you too. You voted for Trump, I blame you too. I blame you all, because as a citizen of this country, you should be held accountable for who's in office. You opting out is a decision. It's a decision that you opted out. And so when you opt out, you have no voice. And I tell my family members, I don't want to hear your opinion if you didn't vote. Why are you complaining? Why are you complaining?
Oh, no. Can you still hear me?
I hear you. I don't see you.
Hold on. Yeah, let me, I think my, hold on. I can get this changed pretty quickly.
Oh, no problem.
MacBook camera. Yeah, go to the MacBook camera. Why is it not?
Oh, snap.
I'm just glad. Camera, OBS virtual. Why is it not going to the MacBook camera? Uh-oh. That's so weird.
Technical difficulties?
Yeah, hold on.
I think we lost him, y'all. A one-woman show. Hey, how y'all doing out there? I can tell you now, I can't see y'all comments. Reese can see that. And that's even if y'all can hear me. I don't even know if y'all can hear me or not. Shout out to y'all in the chat room if y'all can hear me. I am a fireball, y'all. I'm not gonna lie.
It should at least let me go to my my MacBook camera, and I don't know why it won't do that. That's weird. Okay. All right. Karen.
Yes.
I hate having to end the show like this on technical difficulties, but I don't really know what else to do. I ain't going to ask you to carry the whole thing.
Oh, but, this is not a problem. Like I told them, I didn't know if they could hear me. Like I said, I can hear you. So if you want to continue on for audio reasons, we can do that. I don't have a problem with that at all, baby.
Well, normally, and I very much appreciate you. I very much appreciate you. I can't. Oh yeah, Deshauna, my girl Deshauna said, "Bring Karen back, Reese." Normally we go to like 9:30 anyway. So I would. So I guess this was just all my quotas had run out on the machine. But I would love if you came back. That was great. Yes, I was mad about Biden stepping down. Nicole agreed.
Yeah, and I was too, because the thing about it, Reese, and before we go, I'm gonna say this. The internet made people that supported Joe Biden was like, I voted for Joe Biden. So if Joe Biden decides to run again, I'm going to vote for him, and y'all made him step down. People on the internet act like we were lunatics, and they try to gaslight us and act like there was something wrong with us for supporting that man. And there's nothing wrong with me supporting the person that I voted for. I voted for him. And so with him stepping down, Reese, I was mad. Hey, good to see you back. I was mad because I was like, y'all took him away from me, and not in the right way. Like if he would have stepped down on his own accord, Reese, I would have been satisfied. I don't know if that makes sense. Like I personally would have been satisfied. But as somebody who listened to a lot of, I don't listen to them anymore, a lot of political podcasts, every single goddamn day, Biden step down, Biden step down, Biden step down, bitchy step down. And y'all got what y'all wanted. Okay. This is what you wanted. You know, it's not what I wanted. And so I think that now they don't want to deal with the consequences, the repercussions of them forcing him to step down. And then the candidate that did go still lost the election. You're accountable too. Like somebody has to be accountable. Things don't happen out of nowhere, Reese. Like people act like they don't have any control in the situations that we're dealing with, but people have control. You have control if you vote or not. You have control if you are aware of things politically that are happening around you or not. Guess what? You also have the option to be ignorant. You also had an option to get your news from TikTok and YouTube and not valuable sources and call it news. You also have that right too. And so when somebody like me who tried to be as informed as possible is coming and talking to people with these facts and all I hear is stupid shit back at me, I go, oh, okay, I can't talk to you because everything you're saying is not based in reality. And I don't like to talk to people that are not in reality, because we, particularly with social media, everybody lives in the world where they can create their own reality, not the real reality that we're functioning in, their own personal individualized reality that does not have to be the truth. And so this is why people can do the things they say and do all these things and not have any empathy, sympathy, or compassion to anybody else, because this is a reality that they've created, not the real reality. Because I care about people and I want the best for people, I know that most of the time Democrats will do that. Are they perfect? No. Do they have all the answers? No. Will they get it right all the time? No. But I know they're the party that will continue to try. Because right now what we have are people up there that don't care about your protesting, don't care about you angry because they're deporting, don't care about you being angry because they're separating families. They do not care. In fact, telling the police to go out there and whoop your ass, giving ICE all the power that they can. Because in this new budget, ICE has the biggest budget, defunding education. So your kids are going to be dumb and not smart and can't read and can't write. So they're easy to manipulate and control. And when you tell people this, people act like you're the crazy one and you're the one calling the alarm. But it is what I see is a dismantling of this country. The country that I was born. I'm not that old. I shouldn't see the country not be the same as it was when I was a child. My mama's 80 something years old. She has less rights now than she did when she was a child. Make it make sense, dog. She was around when women couldn't drive. You know what I'm saying? Women couldn't own bank accounts. Women couldn't take out loans. Women couldn't have abortions. They could, now they can't. You know, she lived through that. So a lot of times the trick bag is that people do this thing where they act like Martin Luther King and all these people died 3,000 years ago with Jesus. No, bitch. It ain't even been 100 years. Shit, it ain't even been 60 years. It's not that long ago. But they want you under the illusion, because if you think it happened a long time ago, you have this separation. And I realize a lot of people don't know the history. They don't know the history. They don't know how anything functions. Everything that they're doing now is the same thing they did years ago. It's the same tactics, the same techniques. And also, the thing is, one thing about white supremacy, everything that they use against black people, they use against all people. Even white people are being oppressed by the same oppression that they use against us. You know, because, and I tell people this reason, people think I'm crazy. I said, do you know the goal is slavery? And everybody looks at me like I'm crazy. They know it's slavery. They want you slave to your money. They want you slave to your finances. They want you slave to your job. You know, that's what they want you. They want you slave to this. They want you to be impoverished, because when you're impoverished, guess what? You don't have the time nor the patience, because you're working 3 jobs now. You don't have the time nor the patience to be informed. You can't go protest, none of that stuff, because you're just trying to survive. That's what they want. They want people's wealth and money to drop so that they always have an underclass. That's the whole thing, and that's why the immigrants were a underclass that they could get free labor and cheap labor out of and not have to pay. Now they're deporting them. Somebody got to make that class up. I'm not trying to be funny. They're not going to do that. And the biggest thing is for me, Reese, COVID impacted a lot of people. A lot of people do not know how many people really died from COVID. I think it's probably was over 1 million people in this country. And guess what? You can't replace that many people overnight. You just can't. And so you have all these low wage jobs that can't keep people there. Somebody, because they're making rules now where they're dropping the ages for kids so that they go work at these places. So guess what? Dropout rates about to go up. And guess what? Children that take these jobs is going to be because they got to. Not they're going to have to do this. And so these are the things. This is what my mind tick, and these are the things that I see. And this is why I'm very adamant about how I vote. This is why I'm not here for the bullshit. This is why I'm not here for the debate. I don't want to talk to you. Go talk to your mama. I don't have time for that. In my mind, and I know for some people it might sound harsh and it might sound cruel and it might sound mean, but baby, it is what it is to me. To me, you're playing, and I feel like this too, Reese. In this country, people talk about. I hear people say, "Well, when will it change? When we've suffered enough." And I really do mean that. When we suffered as a totality, when we suffered, American is very individualized. Even everybody's individualized. And so when it's individualized, it's about me and mine. They don't care about their neighbors. They don't care about their loved ones. People don't even have family reunions as much as they used to. It's like this big separation that is happening in our country. And so when these things happen, and you have somebody in charge, the whole thing is to tear down, tear down, tear down, tear down. All you're going to do is cause more division. And so, it's one of these things where we need each other more than ever before. Like as a collective, as a group, we really do. But it's going to have to get to the point where somebody's racism is going to have to look past my blackness and say, I'm suffering enough that I don't mind being here with somebody I hate so we can get the cause done. Somebody's homophobia, it's going to have to be so much suffering that I don't care about you being gay. I am suffering so much. I got to look past your gayness so that we can get things done. I got to look past your transes. I got to look past these things. So the suffering is not enough. When we have Stephen A. Smith talking about he's running for president, we are playing. We are not serious about this. We're just not. Like we are not. Because you know what? I'm going to tell you right now. When, 1-2 years from now, when midterms happen, it's going to tell the truth on people when the midterms happen. Are y'all going to put enough Democratic people in the House? So when they start passing this bullshit, it's enough people in there to be like, we won't do it. And they have the power, because this is the thing. Y'all send Democrats in there with $1 and say, make it $2. You can't do that because everybody complain about what they're doing right now. Everything is symbolism. I don't care nothing about your symbolism. I want results. I want results, and results is winning, because we live in a society now where people will be like, I'd rather lose by 25 than win by 1. Bitch, I'd rather win by 1. What are you doing here? I don't care how good you look. Bitch, you lost. What are we doing here? You lost. And you have people that were like, they rather lose and be satisfied in their losing than win and actually get shit done. And that's where a lot of my frustration comes in with people and having these conversations around these things.
I like it. You actually gave me an idea while you were talking about the reconstruction of society. I had a piece that I had put together. I never ended up recording it, about techno-feudalism, about being kind of like slaves to apps and all the stuff that the billionaires are trying to build. But I think there's probably, obviously there's more than one to be done, but you just reminded me of that, that I need to try and put that together. But in the short term, I really appreciate you coming through.
Yay, I enjoyed being here. Thank you for having me on. This has been a pleasure.
And I also love that you were willing to just stick it out when I just disappeared. You were like, I can't see none of the comments. I was letting them know if they were putting stuff in there. Like I can't see none of it. He does all that, but I think doing our podcast like 5 days a week and being consistently live chat. But as y'all can tell, I'm a talker. So Chad, I was like, Chad, I talked to he come back. No, that's good. Yeah, that's good. They definitely did enjoy you. So I very much appreciate you. And I know, so you guys do your show 5 days a week, but where can the people find and follow you and the show?
you can find us over at theblackoutwhotips.com. That has everything about our show. Like you said, we do our show 5 days a week. You can find me on Twitter. I'm at Say That Again. You can find Rod on Twitter at Rodimus Prime. And it has been a pleasure to be here. And everything about the show, you can find it at The Black Guy Who Tips or at TBGWT. On most social media platforms. We're out there somewhere. So I thank you, everybody. I was glad to be here, and it was fun doing this with you. And Roger said that, I was like, oh, this should be fun. And
well, now you just wind up. I just wind up and turn you on. Let you go. Yeah, you just went and did your thing. You done got Auntie Melanie up past her bedtime, so.
I got people out here up late.
No, it was good. So please definitely come back. I got Rod's email, so yes. we're gonna have to go back and forth with you. But this was really fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you, baby.
All right, y'all show her some love. I appreciate all y'all your conversations in the chat. That was really dope. We're definitely gonna have her back, and. You guys, I appreciate you guys being on your best behavior. That was good, especially when things went left with the camera. And I appreciate it's nothing in that corner that I want y'all to see because y'all wasn't supposed to be getting this angle. Normally, I got to clean up, I got to clean up whatever's in the back, but y'all wasn't supposed to get that angle. But thankfully, it's nothing back there. All right, as I always do, shout out to Tammy and Sarge, TP, Michelle, Aracelis, Nicole, Lee, TP, Nicole circling the block, 1010, Tammy circling the block, my man Tony, Michael, Jennifer, Kristen, Jessica, Sonia, Nicole circling the block, Tammy circling the block, Sil, Glenn, Instructor, we got Iggy again, we got Key, We the People, Tanya, we got, by the way, Tanya, I'm glad I remember this. The guy who developed Blap is actually a friend of mine. This guy named John Laster, comedian named John Laster. Very, very funny comedian. He actually developed Blap. So, yeah, I totally co-sign that. Check that out. Barbara, Goldilocks, Deshauna, Nicole, Lee, Sonia, circling the block, Allie, my girl Auntie Melanie, and Miss TV Hayes. I very much appreciate all you guys for being here. And, y'all know how we'll obviously have a premiere tomorrow. Not sure what time. Probably sometime in between 2 and 4 is my guess. But as we always end the show, soak your feet.